All right. So are you ready to like really dive deep into something kind of unexpected?
I am so ready. Let's do this.
Perfect. So today we're tackling stress management.
Okay, love it.
But get this. We're exploring the surprising connection between de-stressing and, wait for it, chamomile tea.
Chamomile. You mean like my grandma's bedtime drink?
Uh-huh, yeah, exactly that. But it's not just some old wives' tale. We're going way beyond sip and chill. We're going to dig into the history, the science, the whole shebang.
Ooh, I'm intrigued already.
Me too. Okay, so before we get to all the chamomile goodness, we got to lay the groundwork right.
Right.
What exactly is stress?
Yeah, good
And
question.
why should we even bother trying to manage it?
So stress, it's more than just feeling a little overwhelmed.
Totally. It's like this sneaky little monster that can creep up on you.
And it can manifest in ways you might not even realize are connected to stress.
Oh, totally. Like you think you're just having a bad day, but maybe it's actually stress showing up.
Irritability
Yeah.
or headaches, even digestive issues.
Oh, yeah. Or trouble sleeping. It's crazy how many things can be linked back to stress.
It really is. And that's why it's so important to learn to recognize those signs early on.
Absolutely. Before it turns into a bigger problem. But honestly, sometimes I have trouble even figuring out what's causing the stress in the first place.
Right.
It's just this general feeling of, ugh.
Oh, yeah, I feel that. Sometimes it's easy to pinpoint the trigger.
Like work deadlines or relationship stuff, yeah.
Exactly. But other times, it's more like a bunch of little things piling up.
Ugh, yes. The never-ending to-do list, the constant notifications. It's like death by 1,000 paper cuts.
It really is. And those little stressors can be just as impactful as the big ones if we let them build up.
Okay, so let's say we've identified some stress triggers. Now what? Everyone says just relax, but that's like the least helpful advice ever.
I know, right? Like HOW, give me the actual steps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are some actionable strategies that we can actually use to, de-stress?
Well, one that's often overlooked is acceptance. Like, if you're stressing over something you genuinely can't control,
Okay, yeah.
just accepting that situation instead of fighting it can free up so much mental energy.
It's kind of like that whole reframing your perspective thing, right?
Totally.
Like instead of dreading that long commute, you make it podcast time.
Exactly. You're not changing the situation itself, but you're changing how you relate to it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, though, the best solution is to just avoid the stressor completely.
Oh, 100%. Like if it's a toxic coworker or endless social media scrolling.
Sometimes you just got to step away from the drama.
Couldn't agree more. And speaking of stepping away,
Hmm.
ever notice how much better you feel after a workout?
Okay, I see where you're going with this. Exercise is key, why?
Yeah.
But honestly, when I'm stressed, hitting the gym is the asked thing I want to do.
Haha. I feel you. But it doesn't have to be some intense workout.
Oh,
Well, good. Even a walk or some stretching or even just putting on music and dancing around your kitchen can do wonders. It's like giving your body a chance to process the stress physically.
Yeah, I get that. So we've got acceptance, avoidance if possible, and moving our bodies. What else can we add to our stress-busting toolkit?
So this one might sound counterintuitive, but sometimes just shifting your perspective is enough.
Okay, what do you mean?
Instead of focusing on all the negatives, try to notice the good things, even the small ones.
Ooh, I like that. So it's like training your brain to be a happiness magnet, even when things are chaotic.
Exactly. You're not denying the challenges, but you're choosing where to focus your attention.
Right. It feels more empowering than just trying to ignore the bad stuff.
Exactly. Okay, but what about like the classic relaxation techniques?
Oh, yeah, those are great too, like deep breathing or meditation or yoga.
Yes, all those things that help quiet the mind and calm the nervous system.
And we can't forget good sleep and a balanced diet. They're so essential for managing stress.
100%. And you know what else?
Hmm.
Don't be afraid to say no. Overcommitting is a one-way ticket to Stressville.
So true. Setting healthy boundaries is like a superpower.
It really is. Okay, so are you ready for the main event?
Hit me with it.
Let's talk about chamomile tea.
Yes. It's more than just a bedtime drink. It's like backed by science.
Right, and steeped in history. But before we get all science way on you, let's just take a moment to imagine it.
Okay.
Picture this. A cup of tea, light golden color, with this gentle apple-like aroma.
Ooh, it sounds so relaxing already. But tell me, what are the benefits? Like beyond just smelling nice.
So chamomile has some seriously impressive anti-inflammatory properties.
Anti-inflammatory.
Yeah. So inflammation is your body's natural response to injury, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But when it's chronic, it can actually contribute to a ton of health issues.
Including stress.
You got it.
Yeah.
So by helping to calm that inflammation, chamomile can indirectly help reduce stress levels.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So it's like a double whammy. It tackles the inflammation and the stress.
Exactly. And there's more.
Seriously. Okay, keep going.
Chamomile has direct calming effects on the nervous system, too. So that's why it's so good for unwinding.
Exactly. And it can even help with digestion, especially if you're prone to bloating or gas.
Okay, now that's a benefit everyone can appreciate. But how does it actually work? Like, is it magic?
Not magic, but pretty close. It all comes down to this compound in chamomile called apigenin.
Apigenin.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So basically, apigenin interacts with these things called GABA receptors in our brains. Think of them like little chill-out buttons for our nervous system.
So the apigenin in chamomile is basically hitting the chill button on our brains. That's amazing. But is there enough research to back all this up?
That's the thing. The research I said's still ongoing.
Yeah.
But there is some really promising evidence. Like animal studies have shown apigenin can reduce anxiety and promote sleep.
Okay, so there's hope for us humans, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even though we're waiting on more human studies, chamomile does have centuries of anecdotal evidence backing it up.
Right. Sometimes those traditional remedies really do hold up to scientific scrutiny. I know, it's so cool. Sometimes ancient wisdom and modern science meet in the most fascinating ways.
Okay, so we've covered a lot.
We have.
We know stress can be sneaky, but we also have a whole arsenal of tools to combat it, like exercise and perspective shifts, and of course, good old-fashioned relaxation techniques.
Right. And then there's chamomile, this powerful little flower that can calm inflammation, soothe our nerves, and even help us sleep better.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it. But is there even more to the story?
Oh, there's always more to discover, especially when it comes to the world of plants. And with chamomile, it's not just about the tea itself. It's about the ritual of preparing and enjoying it. That can have a huge impact.
Ooh, a chamomile ritual.
Oh.
Okay, I'm listening.
So instead of rushing through the process, imagine turning tea making into a mini meditation. You slow down, you savor the aroma as the tea steeps, you really focus on each step.
I love that. It's like turning it into this mindful practice instead of a mindless routine.
Exactly. And did you know even the water temperature matters?
Really? I thought boiling water was always the way to go with tea.
That's a common misconception.
Huh.
While boiling does extract more of those beneficial compounds, it can also make the tea taste bitter, especially with delicate herbs like chamomile.
So maybe let it cool a bit first.
Exactly. You'll get a smoother, more enjoyable flavor.
So it's all about finding that balance, right?
Yeah.
Like maximizing the benefits without sacrificing the taste. What about steeping time? Any tips there?
For sure, a longer steeping time gives you a stronger brew, a shorter steep is milder. It's all about personal preference.
Okay, so we can customize it to our liking.
Yeah.
Can we get creative with ingredients too?
Absolutely. Honey for sweetness, lemon for a citrusy boost, even ginger for warmth and digestion.
Ooh, ginger and chamomile sounds like the ultimate soothing combo. But it's not just about what's in the cup, right?
Right. Think about the atmosphere, too. Your favorite mug, dim lights, maybe some calming music.
Like creating a mini spa experience right at home.
Exactly. Transforming your tea time into a mini retreat.
I love that. Okay, this is all so fascinating. But I'm curious, are there other herbs out there that offer similar stress-relieving benefits?
You bet. Chamomile is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to calming herbs. So we've got chamomile, but what other herbs can we add to our stress-busting tea collection?
Yeah, give us the goods.
Well, valerian root is a classic.
Valerian. I've heard of that one.
It's been used for centuries to promote relaxation and help with sleep.
Makes sense.
And for people who struggle with anxiety, valerian can be a lifesaver.
Okay, so chamomile and valerian, got it. Can we mix them? Or is it better to stick with one or the other?
You can totally blend them. Actually, a lot of people find that the combination of chamomile and valerian helps them sleep even better than either herb alone.
Oh, wow. So it's like they work together to create this super soothing blend.
Exactly. They enhance each other's calming effects.
I love that. Okay, what other herbs should we be on the lookout for?
Well, lemon balm is another great option.
And lemon balm.
It's got this lovely lemony aroma and a slightly sweet flavor, and it's known for its calming and mood-boosting effects.
Lemon balm. It sounds so refreshing. Does it have any other benefits?
Actually, yeah. Some studies suggest that lemon balm might even have a positive impact on cognitive function.
Really? Like it helps you think more clearly?
Exactly. Especially in terms of memory and attention.
Wow. So it's not just about calming the mind. It might actually help you focus better, too.
That's what the research suggests.
That's fascinating. Okay. Any other herbs we should add to our list?
Of course, we can't forget about lavender.
Oh, lavender. It's like synonymous with relaxation.
Right. Its aroma alone is incredibly soothing, but it also has some really powerful calming properties.
I'm feeling more relaxed just thinking about it. It's incredible how these plants can have such a profound impact on our well-being. Okay, so before we get totally lost in the world of herbal teas,
Uh-huh, right.
let's take a step back and recap some of the key takeaways from our deep dive into stress management.
Sounds like a plan. What are your top takeaways so far?
Well, I think the biggest one for me is that stress isn't always this huge, obvious thing.
Mm-hmm. It can be sneaky.
Yeah. It can show up in all these subtle ways, like those sneaky little symptoms we talked about, the irritability, the headaches, the digestive issues, trouble sleeping.
So true. It's so important to pay attention to those early warning signs.
Exactly. And once we've identified the stress, we have all these tools to combat it.
Our stress-busting arsenal.
Uh-huh. Exactly. We talked about acceptance, accepting the things we can't control.
Right. And reframing our perspective to find the good, even in challenging situations.
And avoiding stressors whenever possible, of course.
Yes.
And we can't forget about the power of physical activity.
Moving our bodies to release those endorphins.
Exactly. Oh, and those classic relaxation techniques are so important too.
Deep breathing, meditation, yoga.
Yes. All those things that help us quiet the mind and calm down.
And of course, we've got to prioritize sleep, nourish our bodies with good food, and set those healthy boundaries.
Yes. Boundaries are everything.
Seriously, it's not about finding one magic solution. It's about weaving all these practices into our lives.
Creating a more resilient and balanced approach to stress management. I love that. And then, of course, we have this whole incredible world of herbal teas to explore.
Right. We've spent a good chunk of time talking about chamomile with its amazing ability to calm inflammation, soothe the nervous system, and even help with digestion and sleep.
And we've just scratched the surface with those other calming herbs like valerian, lemon balm, and lavender.
I know. It's so exciting.
It's amazing how these simple plants, which have been used for centuries in traditional medicine, are now getting attention from modern science.
I know. It's like ancient wisdom is finally getting the recognition it deserves.
It's like ancient wisdom and cutting-edge research are finally coming together to help us understand well-being in a more holistic way.
Exactly. And you know what I think is especially fascinating?
What's that?
It's not just about the herbs themselves. It's about the ritual of preparing and enjoying them.
Oh, yeah. That mindfulness, that intention we bring to the experience, it can really amplify the benefits.
Totally. It's like we're transforming this simple act of making tea into a truly restorative experience.
Yeah, it's like creating a moment of self-care in the midst of the chaos. A chance to pause, reconnect with ourselves, and find a little bit of peace.
Beautifully said. And as we continue to explore all these techniques and try to incorporate them into our lives, I think the most important question to ask ourselves is,
Okay, I'm ready for it. What's the question?
what does relaxation truly mean for me?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's not about following some set of rules or checking off boxes. It's about figuring out what genuinely nourishes our souls.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up in those shoulds.
Oh, tell me about it.
Like we should be meditating, we should exercise more, we should drink all the right teas.
Right, right. It's like there's this pressure to do all the things.
Exactly. But ultimately, self-care is about finding what works for you.
100%. What works for one person might not work for another.
Totally. So if someone is listening to this and feeling a little overwhelmed by all the options,
Oh, yeah, I could see that happening.
where should they start?
That's a good question. I think a good starting point is to create a little ritual around your tea time.
Okay, I like that. Even if you're not a huge tea drinker, just choose a beverage you enjoy
Could be herbal tea, could be coffee, even just a glass of water.
and make it an experience.
Exactly. So instead of like gulping it down while you're checking emails or scrolling through social media,
Right.
you slow down, you savor the aroma, you actually focus on each sip.
So it's about being present in the moment, even if it's just for a few minutes.
Yes, it's about turning that simple act of drinking into a mindful practice.
It's like creating this little oasis of calm in the middle of all the craziness.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. It's about finding those small pockets of peace throughout the day.
I love that. So as you're experimenting with different teas and relaxation techniques, pay attention to how they make you feel.
Yes. Tuning in. to your body and your mind.
What resonates with you?
Yeah.
What helps you feel more grounded?
What brings you a sense of peace and ease?
It's all about becoming your own best expert,
And exactly.
figuring out what works for you.
Yeah.
And it's a journey, not a destination.
So true. It's an ongoing exploration.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
We've explored the sneaky nature of stress.
And all those hidden ways it can show up.
And we've discovered a whole treasure trove of strategies for managing it.
From exercise and perspective shifts.
To good old-fashioned relaxation techniques.
And of course, we can't forget the incredible world of herbal teas.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially chamomile and its amazing calming powers.
It's all about creating a lifestyle that prioritizes well-being, you know?
Yes. Incorporating practices that nourish both our bodies and our minds.
Exactly.
And I think we've learned that relaxation isn't a luxury.
Not at all.
It's an essential part of living a happy, healthy life.
Couldn't agree more.
So as you go about your day, dear listeners, find those little moments of calm.
Whether it's through a mindful cup of tea
A walk in nature.
or simply taking a few deep breaths,
Remember.
a calmer, happier you is within reach.
And sometimes it really is as simple as taking a moment to just be.
Until next time.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep taking care of yourselves.